Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to replace the sealant in your pool's expansion joint. That's the gap between the concrete deck and the coping or the tile around the pool. This sealant is very important because it keeps water from getting under your deck and causing cracks. Let's go step by step. First, take a close look. Sometimes the sealant just cracks on the surface, but it's still fine underneath. If it's separating from the sides though, or if the crack goes all the way through, then it's time to replace. These generally last 5 or 6 years, so if it's been more than that, it's likely that it does need to be swapped out. But don't tear it out too early if it's still doing its job. Now you can hire a pro, and most will charge around $14 a foot. So for a pool that's 100 feet around, you're speaking about $1,400. That price includes removing the old sealant, prepping, adding new, and then the cleanup. It's a lot, but it does save you the work. Now, doing it yourself will save a lot of money, but it is a bit slow, messy, and you'll spend hours hunched over. You have two main choices. One is called Sikaflex, which is a self-leveling sealant or caulking. It flows flat by itself and lays down nicely, but it's runny like warm peanut butter, and it can seep through any of the backer rod, which is that foam layer underneath, if it's not sitting perfect. You may need to fill any low spots later if it does sink in. The other stuff is DecoSeal. It's a little bit thicker and you have to mix it yourself. It's like putting two epoxies together, and it's also messy and it does not come inside a container. You have to put it in there yourself. Always test a small area first and make sure you're happy before you apply this technique across your entire pool. I've used the self-leveling Sikaflex several times. I'll put a link in the video description below for all the tools and all the material I used. It is messy, but it works great and comes in different colors. You'll need the following supplies: fresh razor blades, a shop vac, different size backer rods, a 29-ounce caulking gun. Get the manualed one, it's easier to control the flow versus powered. You'll need paper towels, good rubber gloves, a painter's multi-tool or pliers, and optional is painter's tape. Also, you can expect to use 2 or 3 of these 29-ounce tubes of Sikaflex for a small to medium pool, and probably 3, 4, maybe 5 for a larger pool. They're around $17 per 29 ounce. Now first, cut along both sides with a razor and pull it out. If it's really stubborn, you can get an electric multi-tool and that will make the job easier. Vacuum out any debris and remove the old backer rod if it's still not good. Clean the edges so that the new sealant sticks. You want to get all the way down to the tile or the concrete. Now measure your joint and pick a backer rod that's a little bit bigger than the gap and press it in so it's snug all the way around. This gives the sealant something to sit on. Now get everything ready. Once you start, this stuff doesn't like to stop flowing. For self-leveling sealant, store the tubes upright beforehand so that all the oils that will separate will float to the top. Then you'll cut a big opening and you puncture the inside of foil and test out the first bit of the caulking and just go ahead and waste it because it's probably the separated oil section and you don't want to put that down. Now run a steady bead along the joint slightly below the top of the deck. Don't overfill, it won't look nice. After 30 minutes, check for any low spots and top them off. For the DecoSeal, you'll need to mix the kit, tape off both sides if you're not really good at applying this, and then spread it in evenly using the container that it comes with. After about an hour, the sealant will start to get tacky on the surface, and you can test it out with a toothpick or even your finger. And when it feels tacky, you can sprinkle on the fine sand. I got play sand from Home Depot. That was a huge bag for $7, and the sandstone color matched my pool perfectly. But if you need gray, you'll have to find a gray fine sand. Now, if you apply the sand too early, it will sink into the sealant and become part of it, and that's not ideal, so wait until it becomes tacky. The reason we apply sand is because it helps blend it in, it will protect the sealant from extra UV rays, and it will take away any of the shiny look. You want to do a light dusting first, and then after about 90 minutes total, you'll add a heavier coat. The next day, you can brush off any of the extra once it's dried and vacuum it out of there with your shop vac. Let the sealant sit at least 24 hours before you walk on it or get water nearby. And again, test a small area first to make sure you're happy with the results and the color of the sand before you do this to your entire pool. And that's it. Replacing the pool joint sealant is slow, a little bit messy, but it's not complicated. If you got any other tips or different methods, please drop them in the comments below to help everyone else out. And I'll put the links to the tools I use below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.